Hello, friends. Good evening. Today, I am here to discuss about one of the greatest books of the history, that is none other than the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, I have prepared a complete summary of this Bhagavad Gita, and I have put it in this way that I have actually made some slides of it in my word format, and each slide I have made 3 points. One is the key point of that Bhagavad Gita, the description of that, followed by the example. So this session is actually going to be in English. So please forgive me for those people who don't understand English. So this is an attempt for me to actually give you the summary of the great books of this history ever written under the title called Bhagavad Gita. So with the with the great wish to myself, because I've this is an attempt from my end in order to compile and summarize the complete Bhagavad Gita. I don't know, I might have missed something, but for that, please excuse me. But I've tried my best to incorporate all those important points which are there in this Bhagavad Gita. So this I have put it into word format, and I will show you that word format, and I will try to read line by line, because it is really very difficult for a person illiterate and person like me to give you the complete Bhagavad Gita summary without reading the text which I have formed. So please excuse me. I will be reading the whole summary which I have made in the form of three subheads. One is key point, the description, followed by the example. But I'm very sure that the reading which I will have through this, it is going to play a very significant role for those who have not listened, read, or heard anything about Bhagavad Gita, because this is something which is not only a spiritual book, but it is a kind of epitome for all of us to ensure that we become a great human being. There are certain points told by Lord Krishna to Arjuna in this book, which talks about how you can actually be a great warrior in life. Okay, so without any further ado, let me directly jump to the text which I have formulated, wherein I have put 3 points, in fact 30 slides, and each slide has the key point, description, and the example. So let me go ahead with this small attempt of sharing this summary of this great books ever written by anyone in the history of this world. So let me start. Give me 1 minute. I'm sharing my you know word file with you. I will read it and I'll try to explain whatever I have understood. Okay. So the slide number one, it is talking about the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. Now, when I think the slide hasn't come. I think it has come. I can see that, yes. So the first part is introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. I will go with only each slide. There are 30 slides, such slides, and each slide has key point, description, and example. And I'll continue to read, and if possible, I try to explain it. But this is this complete summary which I try to put it and share with you within 20-25 minutes of time. Yeah. So the Bhagavad Gita first key point says that the Bhagavad Gita is a sacred text of Hinduism. It is something which is the topmost, or rather the utmost books ever written in the Hinduism as a religion. So the description is, it is a part of the Indian epic Mahabharata, which is comprising of 700 verses. The Gita is a dialogue between Prince Arjuna and the god Krishna, right, who serves as his charioteer. Okay, so now put me the example. Let me give you the example. Arjuna is confused about fighting in the Kurukshetra war, and Krishna guides him. That is how the origin of this book has happened. Bhagavad Gita actually started with the event when both Arjuna and Krishna was there fighting with the Kaurava. Okay, so Arjuna was quite confused. He was bewildered. He was perplexed that how he is going to kill his own brothers and cousin brothers. But that time, Lord Krishna played a very good role in order to guide him as a charioteer, and told many. He gave so many upadeshas to him, and there was a lot of discussion which happened while they were in the Kurukshetra war. So let me take you to each and every point. Point number one: the Gita is set on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna faces a moral dilemma about fighting in the war, where he must battle against his own relatives, teachers, and friends. Krishna counseled him, providing wisdom and guidance. Arjuna actually expresses his sorrow and reluctance to fight, laying down his bow and arrows. That time, Krishna handholded him and told him that this is not something which you will have to see. When it comes to your relatives, teachers, and friends on the battlefield, they are they are no one to you. They are actually your enemies. So listen to me how I am going to convince you the importance of the duty. The first thing Lord Krishna said, that dharma is something which is very important, and it is the most important thing when it comes to selecting between anything. So dharma is like the importance of the duty. So Krishna emphasized the concept of dharma. He said, when you are onto the battlefield, your duty is to fight. You cannot bow down your ammunitions and say goodbye. No, this is not your duty. Your duty is to fight against your enemies, irrespective of those enemies. Could be your cousin brothers, relatives, friends, family members, or anybody else. So dharma refers to one's duty and righteousness. Krishna advises Arjuna to fulfill his kshatriya, that is warrior duty, without attachment to the results. Krishna tells Arjuna that failing to fight would be abandoning his duty and honor. What he said, that if you are going to bow down, if you are going to keep your ammunitions down, and you are not ready to fight, then you are actually abandoning the duty and honor of being a warrior. So you will have to fight. So the next thing he said, Lord Krishna said, uh, Atman. Atman means the nature of self. He said the Gita discusses the eternal nature of the soul, that is Atman. The soul is eternal, unchanging, and indestructible. The physical body is temporary, but the soul transcends birth and death. He said that soul is something which is eternal, and you have to focus on the Atman part of it, which means you have to go for unchanging and indestructible, uh, you know, uh, entity, rather than looking at the physical body which is temporary. Okay, so but the soul transcends birth and death. So Krishna compares the body to clothes that the soul discards and replaces. Krishna said that body is nothing but it is just a cloth which is worn by our souls. So you are actually discarding the clothes and replacing them, nothing else you are doing. So focus on your Atman. Then he told about the Bhakti Yoga. He said, what is Bhakti Yoga? The path of devotion. He said, devotion to God is a key theme. Bhakti Yoga involves loving devotion to a personal God. Krishna advises Arjuna to surrender all actions to him and to seek refuge in him. Krishna promises that those who worship him with devotion will be protected. He said, those who will be worshipping the Almighty will be protected. So, devotion to the God is the key theme. So, Bhakti Yoga involves loving devotion and personal God. So, you will have to focus on Bhakti Yoga. Next, he talked about Janana Yoga. He said, what is Janana Yoga? The path of knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom are crucial for liberation. Janana Yoga is the path of knowledge, focusing on understanding the true nature of reality and the self. Krishna explains the difference between the physical and the spiritual. Krishna describes the world as transient and urges Arjuna to see beyond physical appearance. He said that Janana Yoga is something which is basically the path for yoga, path for knowledge. And knowledge and wisdom are very, very essential element when it comes to your liberation. So you will have to follow the path of knowledge. You will have to understand the true nature of yourself and the difference between physical and spiritual well-being. And that is how you will have to go for Janana Yoga. Then he spoke about the Karma Yoga. He said the path of action is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is the path of selfless action. He said Krishna teaches Arjuna to perform his duties without attachment to outcomes. Actions should be done as offerings to God without personal gain. Krishna uses the metaphor of a lotus leaf which remains untouched by water to illustrate detachment. Such a wonderful, messages which Lord Krishna has given. Let me re-endorse this fact, the fact of Karma Yoga. He said it is basically the path of action. You will have to be very, very selfless when it comes to doing your job. You will have to be very, very selfless when it comes to acting on your job. He taught Arjuna to perform and focus on his duties. And what was the duty? The duty was to fight against the enemies and forget about the outcomes, that too without any attachment. He said that action should be done as the message from the God without any personal gain. And that is the example what he gave, that when it comes to lotus flower, the leaves of the lotus flower are always above the water and they don't come in touch with the water. So it illustrates that even though you are in the water but you are still separated. So next point what he talked is the vision of the universal form. Krishna said, he said, I reveal my universal form to Arjuna. Krishna actually revealed his universal form to Arjuna. Krishna shows Arjuna his cosmic form, which is vast and all encompassing, representing the entire universe. This vision emphasizes Krishna's divine power. Arjuna sees countless forms, faces, and beings within Krishna, leading to awe and reverence. What Krishna said, that the vision of the universe is in me. He showed him the entire universe in his own self. This vision actually emphasized Krishna's power in front of Arjuna. And Arjuna sees countless forms, countless faces, and within Krishna that led to awe and reverence in Arjuna. Then Krishna talked about the qualities, that is the three gunas. What he said, the Gita explains the three gunas, that is sattva, rajas, and tamas. I am repeating, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva is associated with goodness and harmony, rajas with passion and activity, and tamas with ignorance and inertia. These qualities influence behavior and perception. Krishna explains that one's nature and actions are shaped by the predominant guna. That is the three gunas, the three qualities what Krishna explained to Arjuna. Then he spoke about sacrifice, the concept of yajna. Now he said sacrifice is a recurring theme in the Gita. He said sacrifice is something which will continue to come and it will repeat. Yajna refers to the concept of offering or sacrifice. He said Krishna actually describes various forms of yajna, including knowledge, austerity, and the material offerings, as ways to connect with the divine. He said performing duties as a sacrifice to God is considered a form of yajna. What he said, sacrifice is something which is recurring and you will have to follow it. You will have to ensure that you follow this sacrifice as Krishna describes the sacrifice yajna as a part of knowledge, austerity, and material offering. That is how he spoke about the concept of yajna. Then he said that highlight a core teaching or concept from the Bhagavad Gita. Provide a brief explanation to the text. This is what he spoke about. He gave additional examples to him. So then the content is structured by easy and easy way. Yeah, let me just go to this. I'm sorry, there's something which has happened to my text. Okay, yeah. Atam, we have read the path of liberation. Then we have read the path of knowledge. Yes, we were at the path of knowledge. The path of devotion we have just covered. So devotion to God. Bhakti yoga focuses on loving devotion to God. It emphasizes surrendering one's ego and dedicating oneself to God. Krishna promises protection and salvation to those who worship him with devotion. Then he spoke about Janana Yoga, the path of knowledge and wisdom. Janana Yoga involves understanding the nature of the self and the universe. It emphasizes discernment and realization to the self, true self. Krishna explains the difference between the physical body and the eternal soul. Then he spoke about the universal form of Krishna. Krishna reveals his cosmic form. Krishna shows Arjuna his universal form encompassing all of creation. This vision demonstrates Krishna's divine power and the interconnectedness of all lives. Arjuna sees the entire universe within Krishna, leading to awe and devotion. Then the three gunas. I'm sorry, actually, while I was putting these text in the word format, there was duplication of the slide which has happened. That is why I am now at the right slide. The three gunas which actually wherein I left. So the three gunas influence behavior. The gunas are sattva, that is goodness, rajas, that is passion, and tamas, that is ignorance. These qualities affect a person's action, thoughts, and the life choices. Krishna explains how these qualities manifest in different people and actions. Then he spoke about the concept of yajna, that is sacrifice. Yajna refers to the spirit of sacrifice. In the Gita, yajna means performing action as a sacrifice to the divine without selfish motives. It includes rituals, self discipline, and knowledge. Krishna teaches that all actions should be performed with a sense of offering. Then he spoke about detachment and renunciation. Now he said the importance of detachment is something which is so very important for you to win the game, win the battle. The Gita encourages detachment from materialistic possessions and the outcome. True renunciation involves mental detachment, not necessarily physical withdrawal. Krishna explains that one can live in the world without being influenced by it. So, detachment and renunciation is so very important when it comes to your withdrawal from anything. So, then he spoke about the eternal and the transient. What he said, distinction between the eternal and the temporary. The Gita distinguishes between the eternal soul and the temporary physical world. It teaches that spiritual wisdom involves focusing on the eternal. Krishna advises Arjuna to look beyond temporary pleasures and pains. Then he spoke about the role of meditation. He said, meditation as a spiritual practice. The Gita emphasizes the importance of meditation for inner peace and self realization. It helps to control the mind and connect with the divine. Krishna describes the ideal meditation posture and mindset. That is what he spoke about the role of meditation. He said, meditation is nothing but it is a spiritual practice which you do with yourself, with your soul. It will help you control your mind and connect with the divine. Whenever you feel that you are not in a situation to take decision, go for meditation. That is what Krishna told him. Then came the concept of Swad, Swadharma. He said Swadharma refers to one's personal duty. He said that Swadharma is a kind of duty which you are bound to perform. Each person has a unique duty based on their nature and circumstances. So, whatever you are doing is your duty at this point in time because of the circumstances which has been created. Following one's swadharma leads to fulfillment and spiritual growth. You will have to focus on your duty that will lead to the commitment, fulfillment, and the spiritual growth of yours. He said he urges Arjuna to follow his duty as a warrior, not as a brother, not as a son, not as a cousin. He said you will have to follow your duty as a warrior despite your personal doubts. That is what is called as swadharma. That is the duty towards your own dharma. Then he spoke about the illusion of Maya. He said, Maya represents the illusion of the material world. Maya causes individuals to perceive the material world as real and permanent. The Gita teaches that true knowledge involves seeing beyond this illusion, which means Maya is something which causes individual to perceive, to see this world as materialistic and as a real and permanent one. So Krishna explained that the attachment to Maya will lead to lot of suffering and confusion in life. So you will have to detach yourself from this Maya. Then he spoke the importance of faith. He said, faith in God and the teachings. The Gita stresses the importance of having faith in divine guidance and the teachings of the scriptures. Faith leads to trust and surrender. Krishna encourages Arjuna to have faith in his divine plan and wisdom. So, what he said, you will have to focus on the plan what you have, and that focus comes with only the faith in Almighty as well as the learnings you have had over a period of time to be a great warrior. So, what he said that you will have to have the faith on the Almighty as well as the teachings you have to fight on the battlefield. That is the message which this importance of faith gave by Krishna to Arjuna. Then Krishna focused on the power of devotion. He said, devotion transforms and purifies. The Gita highlights the transformative power of devotion to God. It purifies the heart and leads to spiritual growth. Krishna accepts even the smallest offerings if given with devotion. What he said, devotion is something which will transform and will purify you. Irrespective of how much kind of offerings you get, you will not have to see the materialistic or volume or tangible part of that offering. You will have to just see the emotions behind that, and you will have to respect that devotion. So then he spoke about the significance of surrender. He said, surrender to divine will. You will have to surrender to the will of the divine. The Gita teaches that surrendering one's ego and desires to God leads to peace and liberation. What he said that you will have to surrender your desires and God to the one you respect, that is none other than the Almighty, that is divine. And when you surrender, it is a key aspect of bhakti yoga. Krishna assures Arjuna that surrendering to him will free him from all sins and fears. This will free him, this will free you from all the sins and the fears you have had in your life if you surrender yourself, you surrender your soul to the Almighty. Then he spoke about the next word, that is the external witness. He said, God as the external witness. God is the one who is there to witness your success or failure. The Gita describes God as the eternal observer of all actions and thoughts. He is omnipresent and omniscient. Krishna explains that he resides in the hearts of all beings and witnesses all their action. So Krishna focused on the eternal witness, that he is there in everyone. He said that you will have to act as an observer and you will have to take action with your thoughts, that God is omnipresent and is omniscient. He also explained that God, you cannot find it anywhere outside. It is there in your heart only. So you will have to witness all your action by the virtue of this Almighty. So the role of Guru. Then the next point he spoke about the role of Guru. Krishna said the Guru as a spiritual guide. He said, whosoever is your teacher, whosoever is your mentor, whosoever is your Guru, you will have to ensure that the Gita acknowledges the importance of a Guru or teacher in guiding one's spiritual journey. He said that whenever you are in the spiritual journey of your life, you will have to get the knowledge, and you will have to get this knowledge by putting importance on the learnings which your guru or teacher has given to you. The guru imparts wisdom. Guru will continue to give lot of wisdom, lot of acumen, and will help remove your ignorance and worries. The Guru is there for you to guide. The Guru is there for you to mentor. Krishna serves as Arjuna's Guru, providing him with the knowledge of guidance. He said that don't worry, I am here and I am acting as your Guru, as a teacher, and don't worry, I will guide you in this fight. So the path of equanimity, that is what he spoke about. So maintaining calmness in all situation. The Gita advises maintaining equanimity or a balanced mind in success and failure, pleasure and pain. This mindset leads to peace and wisdom. Krishna urges Arjuna to be steadfast in yoga and view success and failure as equal. He said you will have to follow the path of equanimity, which means whatever is the situation, you will have to remain calm. You will have to remain cool. That cool should be there in your mind, that it will not disbalance your mind, and whether you get success or pleasure failure, whether you get pleasure or pain, this mindset will lead to peace and wisdom. He said that you have to steadfast in yoga and view success and failure as equal. Then he spoke about the transience of life. Life is temporary and ever changing. The Gita teaches that life and its experiences are temporary. Understanding this helps one focus on spiritual goals rather than temporary pleasures. Krishna compares life to a passing river, each changing and impermanent. That is what he spoke about. He said life is temporary and changing. So you will have to focus only on understanding the spiritual goals rather than the temporary pleasures of your life. Then he spoke about the importance of self control. He said that control of the senses and mind. The Gita emphasizes the need for self control over desires and emotions. He said this leads to a disciplined and peaceful life. Krishna compares an uncontrolled mind to a chariot and unrestrained horses. So he said there's a very much important aspect of life, that is none other than self control. If you control your senses, if you control your mind, you will see that you are able to self control your desires and emotion. If you do this, this will lead to discipline and peacefulness in your life. That is how you should be focusing on self control. Then he focused on the vision of unity. Lord Krishna said, seeing the divine in all beings. The Gita teaches that all beings are manifestations of the divine. Seeing this seeing this in unity leads to compassion and selflessness. Such a great thing what Krishna told to Arjuna. He said that you will have to vision, you will have to see the divine in everybody. You will have to see that all the beings are manifestations of the Almighty, all the of the divine. So when you see this in unity, that will lead to compassion and selflessness. Krishna explains that the wise see the same divine presence in scholar, a cow, an elephant, and a dog. What he is trying to tell, that you will have to see that same divine in everyone, irrespective of his race, his caste, his deed, anything, whether he's a scholar or he's an elephant or is a animal, human being, anything. If you will have to see the people that there is a presence of something, what is that something? That is the Supremo Divine. Then he spoke about the role of righteous action, importance of ethical conduct. The Gita underscores the importance of righteous action guided by moral and ethical principles. It encourages actions that benefit others. Krishna advises Arjuna to act in a way that upholds dharma and benefit society. Krishna said that you will have to uphold all your righteous actions and you will have to focus on one thing, that how your actions are going to benefit the society. That is what he spoke about. Then, in conclusion, the final teachings are the Gita message of spiritual wisdom. The Bhagavad Gita concludes with Krishna urging Arjuna to rise above his duties, his doubts, and according to his divine wisdom. The Gita remains a guide for spiritual seekers worldwide. Krishna's final words to Arjuna emphasizes the importance of self-realization and following the path of righteousness. So this attempt of mine to put everything in the form of a short attempt of making this Gita in a comprehensive package of maybe 20-25 minutes. I think I may have missed many things, so I put my apologies for that. But whatever best I could do, I have tried to do in this my short video. I will also try to make a Hindi version of the same Gita, because there are a lot of you know people who want me to share the same in Hindi version as well. So soon I will be sharing that same Gita in the Hindi version as well. Till then, thank you very much. Please keep liking my channel. Have a wonderful day ahead.